Happy 20s, everybody. We are back with an episode about the cartel in Mexico, and you can skip to the interview starting at around 46 minutes, 30 seconds. So, we had an issue with the guest recording, and we can only use his Skype audio, but please forgive us. It was a fantastic interview, and beforehand, we lay out our New Year's Eve resolutions to get fit, because I got fat, and that needs to change. Hopefully you'll join us in trimming up and join us for the first show of the year. Happy New Year, everyone.
Guys, hold on a second.
There's a difference in the mentality of country people and city people.
Okay, hold on. Christian women came into his room and they were freaking out about all the witchcraft stuff.
I used formulaic magic.
Doc, we don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, my anniversary's coming up. I want to make it really special.
In other words, how can a man save some money on Viagra?
The overwhelming majority of Americans take Mexico to be a land of cartel kidnappings and drug wars. But is it as dangerous as the media will have you think? Find out today on the Bravely Mistaken podcast. I guess I did. Everybody! Bravely Mistaken is back. And it ain't the 2000s. It ain't the 10s. It is the roaring 20s, my friends. And we are back. Welcome to the show. Joining with me now is Angel. Angel, copyright 2020, baby. Come on.
Yeah. It's here.
Happy
We're here.
New
We
Year.
made it. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And we took 2 weeks off, and we are back, though. We were going to do 1 week, but I'm at the folks' house right now, as you can see by the very specific decor in the background. And I just thought I'd just hang out with the folks and take it easy a little bit, you know? And but I do want everyone to know that I do not live at home. This is very important. I think everyone gets the idea when they see me at home with my other videos on YouTube that I live with my parents, but I don't. And for some reason, it's very important to me that I make that very clear. But just because I'm at my parents' house doesn't mean that I don't do the show. And we're doing the show. We're doing it. We're sticking it in. And it ain't coming out, baby. Angel, what's up, bud? How you been?
Hey, buddy. I'm doing good. Good. Hungover, but I'm doing good.
You're hungover right now.
Oh, my God. Severely.
Really? What happened? Yeah. Is this your story?
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, so I guess
this your story?
jump right into it. Yeah,
is this your story?
Angel has
Angel has a story.
I got a story.
All right, Angel. What's up?
So the thing is, how every good story should start.
So the thing is,
so I got invited to the Magic Castle for the second time last night.
Okay, and you went.
Awesome.
You went last night. You didn't just get invited. You went last night.
No, I actually went. But the whole thing was kind of funny because I had to meet my friend. The one who invited me was in Riverside. And I was just like, okay, well, I'm like 10, 15 minutes away from the Magic Castle. Like, it's a hop, skip, and a jump. And then she was like, well, yeah, but you should just come out here because we have a party bus that's going to take us to the castle. So I was like, all right, that'll be fun, you know? So I'll spend the time driving over to Riverside or Moreno Valley, same difference. And so I drive like an hour and 40 minutes. I get there. We pregame, you know, have a few drinks. I meet some of the coworkers and friends because it was like this corporate thing that they were doing. We get on this party bus, and then around East LA, the bus breaks down. Like, no shit. I remember someone had asked, I think she asked me, she was just like, hey, can you talk to the driver because you know the area and see if there's somewhere where you can pull over to use the restroom? And I was like, yeah, sure. So then, you know, me and this driver, I'm like just kneeling down and I'm talking to him through this little window. And I'm just like, oh, well, can we stop here? Can we stop? He's like, no.
You mean there's a window, like a window?
there's like a little limo window. It's like separator.
Okay.
So you could shut them out and be like, fuck you.
Mhm.
Or you could just leave it open and be like, hey, I need to take a piss. So, this particular bus.
Those are the only two options.
Yeah.
You could either totally ignore him, keep him out of the entire situation, or just ask him for piss over and over again.
Yeah, which is pretty much what happens.
Dude, no, seriously. Actually, I was coming back from a rave, like I think New Year's rave. God, I was 22 or something, and I was so fucked up on E. I was so high, and that was with some high school peoples and stuff like this, and we were in a limo. Oh yeah, because it was my girlfriend's prom. It was prom, so we took a limo out to this rave. We're driving back, and I swear to God, I had to take a piss so bad. And I tell the limo driver, I say, "Yeah, I got to take a piss, man." And he pulls over, no big deal. But like when you're high, and you've just been chugging water and everything. You've just been like chugging. I swear to God, a half hour later, I had to take another piss. And I was too embarrassed to ask again, because I hate I don't know why, like having to take a piss again or something. I don't know why. I just feel like such a pussy. Anyway, I said, "Hey, can you tell the driver that you've got to take a piss?" Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And everyone's so fucked up. She's so fucked up that she goes, but she's like, "Oh, yeah, of course. I know, of course. It's totally cool." And she goes, "Excuse me, can you pull over? Jordan has to go to the bathroom again."
Oh no!
Luckily, like one of the other dudes, Mike. Well, fuck, I don't want to give his name, but he had to go as well. So anyway, so go ahead. So you're talking to this guy through the thing.
So I'm talking to him through the thing. We're kind of approaching, like we're around East LA, and I'm sitting there and we're like debating where to stop, and I'm like, oh well, how far are we? And I'm like, oh, it's like we're like 25 minutes away. So then I turn back and I'm like, hey, can you guys wait 25 minutes? And they're like, no, we're gonna burst. We need to fucking pee. And I was like, all right. So then I start talking to the guy and I'm like, well, K-Town's coming up. Let's just stop in K-Town. He's like, where the fuck am I gonna park? And I'm like, dude, it's Koreatown. No one gives a shit where you're gonna park. So like you'll be fucking fine. No one's gonna take it.
Because you used to live there, so you know this because you used to live there.
Yeah, there was plenty of places where you could just stop a fucking butt. Like, no one's going to give a fuck. Like, there'll be some people yelling at you, but at the end of the day, you'll be fine.
In Korean.
So, yeah. It's like, well, okay, cool. Yeah, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
Kamsahamnida. That's how they say it. Thank you.
Huh?
Anyway.
You'll be fucking fine. But instead, like, so as we're just debating where to stop, he's just like, hey, my check engine light just came on. And I was like, what? And he's like, my check engine light just came on. And I'm like, is that smoke? And he's just like, yeah. So the engine starts smoking. and I'm like, okay, well, just pull over here. Like pull off here. This is like Cesar Chavez. It's not the best street, but at least we'll be off the freeway. And he's just like, no, you don't understand. The engine light came on. The bus is dead. And I'm like, dude, fucking start pulling. So he starts pulling the bus as much as he can, obviously without smashing us into traffic. And we literally pull up in that little edgeway right before you get off on an exit, barely made it perfectly. And the bus breaks down in not the worst neighborhood, but not a great neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
And no one knows where the fuck they are because they're all from Riverside. So one of the girls that really has to go, she's like, fuck this. I'm going to go find somebody. I'm going to go start knocking on some houses. And I'm like, that's a bad idea.
Dude, Jason Voorhees better pop out here in a second here. What's going on here, Angel?
So she's wanting to like talk to people in their cars and people are starting to yell it. And I'm just like, all right, this is turning into a fucking bad situation. So then someone tells us there's this like fucking this doesn't have a great ending, but someone tells us there's a fucking bakery across the way. So then
Sounds like a great ending to me.
Escorting her through this horrible neighborhood, making sure no one does anything.
Is this your date? Is this
no? this is someone I don't even know. My date is now back at the fucking bus trying to figure out what the fuck we're gonna do.
Uh-huh.
And then
You're like, there's a bakery over there.
Well, then we see that there's a fucking group of the people with us coming down this street. So then I just yell, "There's a bakery around the corner. You can take a piss." in the middle of this neighborhood at like 7 o'clock, and it was dark as shit. So
there's a bakery. It's the answer to everything.
You can pee over there.
It's an okay ending. It's not a bad ending.
Yeah.
Was that the ending? You guys got going eventually, or what?
Yeah, we all had to get Ubers to the castle. So we got Ubers to the fucking castle. And
her and her fucking party bus.
The party bus was fun. We got another one come back.
Yeah.
So it ended up okay.
Yeah. What happened with that one?
Great. It did nothing.
The party jalopy.
Yeah. So they had to transfer all of our shit from one bus to the other. And we had all these good drinks, not to fucking sell the brand or anything.
Bartles and James.
Yeah, exactly. And he left a whole bunch of them in the fucking cooler, and he just left in the Bud Light and the Heineken. And I was just like, well, this sucks.
Well, whatever. I mean, at least he left it there because what? Because the car broke down, or it was just like that's part of the gig?
No, he just thought that no one would drink the other shit, so he's just like, everyone likes Bud Light and Heineken.
Yeah, sure. Whatever. Yeah, get some beers.
It's free booze. Fuck it.
I like drinking in cars when you can.
Yeah. I mean,
it's fun.
There's no greater joy.
Come down to Mexico. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Angel's story. Okay. All righty. Thank you, Angel. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And you're hungover now?
Very, very. I got like 5 hours of sleep.
Okay.
And I was drinking all night. That's okay.
Sorry. I'll take
okay.
I take the reins on this one. It's all right. You don't have to worry.
I'm here.
I stayed up here for New Year's with the folks purposefully to spend it with the folks because God knows, I'm here, might as well do it. I'm flying back to Mexico next Wednesday. And my voice is going to come in hopefully by then.
Should I get your travel plans this time so that way we don't think that you've been kidnapped and killed?
Oh yeah. Hey, what was that? I can't remember that. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm coming back. Oh yeah, quick. Yeah, well. Yeah, everyone thought I got kidnapped because no, it's not. It's too difficult. Too complicated to tell. Everyone literally thought I got kidnapped with my flight because they thought it was a day earlier than it was, and I was totally MIA. Yeah, I had like 50 messages on the phone going, "Where are you? What's going on?" And it's all like in a span of 4 hours. So that's nice. That was nice coming into the new year, knowing that people care about me. Thank you very much, Angel, I must say. And Ben Dines, if you're listening. Yeah, right. Thank you, guys. It's very sweet. And Pilar and Danny, too. And thank God, not my mom, because you almost told my mom. She would have flipped out.
I wouldn't have gone that far unless it was an emergency.
So check it out. I suffered quite a bit this holiday season. I swear to God, I'm just getting fatter by the minute, and I'm not. This isn't a bit. I'm not trying to like make content here. This is for real, and it's really like freaked me out, to be honest with you. It started. I shit you not. It started before I got to America. About a week before, I started like drinking big glasses of orange juice. And then, I don't know. I just felt like I started getting more backed up a little bit is the feeling, So anyway, as I'm going through these holidays, I'm eating like crazy. And New Year's Eve, I had a steak and potatoes and this, and then I had a fucking pumpkin pie, and I was just so full, and I think I polished like 3/4 bottle of wine, something like this. Anyway, that night And I didn't want to drink a bunch of water because I didn't want to piss all night, you know. I woke up in like a half drunken, you know, thing. And I swear to God, I thought I was like having a heart attack, but it was like my acid in my, there was heartburn, and it was like in my throat, like fucking acid and shit. It was bad. Like it was really bad. And I could just feel it all just like, it's pushing it up into me. Like cause I sit like this a lot, you know, and it's just like pushing my heart up, and I could just feel it. And I'm getting like out of breath. I'm probably out of breath after I stop talking right now. And it's got to change. Okay. It's got to change. But I'm not a believer in just doing whatever to do whatever, you know, like I don't think you can just go on a diet, you know, and like force yourself to do a bunch of stuff. So it's a big problem for me. You know, like we want to work out, we want to be nutritious, but what do? How do you really stick to it and make it a lifestyle? So I've got a plan, Angel. I got a plan, but first I got to show you how serious I am. Okay.
All right. Let's see.
I got to show you how serious I am. So
this is good because, you know, I've been on that kick, you know, for the last year.
Well, I thought you might want to talk about this.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about this. I'm very excited. I'm sorry. Continue.
No, I want you to talk. I want the back and forth. Well, let's do it. So this is Jordan O'Leary right now, today. So this is what I'm just going to share the actual screen with you so you can just see it without seeing this. Hold on. So this is Jordan O'Leary today. It's a shot like hours ago, 2 hours ago, I took this shot. Okay. It's there. Okay. Now you might say, oh, that's not that big of a deal. It's cute. La, 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 la. Let's get a little deeper into it, shall we? So let's see. Hold on. I gotta, fuck. Okay. Hold on. Media. There we go. Okay. So there's the actual bell, and that's just let me pull the media out here. That is just regular, and then I'll show you me sucking it in. You ready?
Yeah.
Here's me sucking it in. There's it sucked in. Okay. All right. Now, listen, I don't give a shit. Okay, listen, I don't care. I really don't care if someone's fat, or I don't give a shit. Me, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's just my energy is all fucked up. That feeling in my body, you know. I'm like, is this what diabetes feels like? I don't even know what I don't know.
No.
You know?
No.
Right. I don't know. Yeah. But it's just like so, and obviously it's the alcohol and everything like that, but it's weird. Yeah, it's scary.
I think you're doing this for less vanity and more health. Like you want to feel better, and you feel different.
Listen, we're not getting any younger, buddy. You know,
I know, and it's affecting us more and more.
And I think if we don't do something now, it will really set the precedent. I really believe this. Okay, so check it out. Okay, here we go. So let me get what happened. There it is. Damn it! All right, so here's how much I weigh. All right. For those of you listening to the podcast, I am standing on a scale and it reads 222.8 pounds.
Okay.
That's me bare naked, buddy. Okay.
What are you though? You're like 6'1", right?
6'1".
Okay.
So I don't know if that's good or bad. But it's bad. You know, I like to be at about, 210 is fine, but 200's better. You know what I mean? But I don't think that matters. I'm not a scale guy. Okay.
As you shouldn't be. Right.
I'm not a scale guy. I'm a fucking belly thickness kind of guy. Okay. So there's my bell. 42. This is the part you might want to like shield your child's eyes here if they're sensitive to horrific images.
Come on.
Oh, come on. I mean, listen. I gotta have a start.
Oh my God.
I measured my skin fold. Okay. I can't just fold it Well, maybe I don't know.
You
Maybe
bought
that's like
the equipment to measure your skin fold.
no. That is
Your
that
parents
is-
got it to you for Christmas.
No, I bought it at a hardware. I bought it at like a shitty hardware store in Mexico. Okay, so there's that. I've got an inch, two and a quarter inches belly. I mean, maybe I could make it. That's like 2 folds though. That's like center belly. You know, the love handles. What is that? 2 3/4. 2 3/4 inches. Look at this, and there's the breast. There you are. I'm covering the nipple.
Free the nips, Jordan. Free the nips.
That's exact. Well, yeah. Well. Anyway, that's what we've got here. And listen, if you might say that's not a big deal, but just imagine what the poor girl is seeing. You know,
come on.
when she's looking at.
Come on.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
this is your like, yeah, keep going, baby.
And
look.
I freed I freed the nip for you. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. So listen to me.
Cold.
Okay. Listen. We don't need to look at that anymore. Okay. So here's the deal. Okay. I've got a plan. All right.
All right.
I've got a fucking plan. And like I said, it's got to be something that I can actually do and keep up with. Now, we're talking about nutrition and we're talking about exercise. Let me share my screen with you real quick. Let me switch it over. Talking about nutrition and we're talking about exercise, okay? Okay, so my whole thing with exercise is pretty. I just played squash, but the truth is, if you don't play 4 times a week, if you play 3 times a week, 2 or 3 times a week, you're just going to kind of stay normal. You won't go anywhere. You won't go up. You won't go down. You'll just stay where you are, and you just eat however you want. You'll stay how you are if you play like 2 or 3 times. You got to play like 4 times. You got to play hard. Okay, so. I'm saying that might not work because I don't have a squash court with me. So I've come up with something that I can do, that I want to try, I want to experiment with. Let me pull it over here. Can you guess what it is, Angel?
The jump rope.
No, I did that. It's fucking boring and a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it hurts.
Anything else?
Shit. Can I get a hint? It
It
better not be electronic.
It's electronic.
Oh God, is it one of those like muscle stimulators?
I have one of those, and I wouldn't mind trying it out. But no, not. This won't be for strength at first. It'll be for weight loss and cardio. Now, listen, we're talking fun, something I can do, right? So think. I won't do it long, trust me.
Okay.
Come on, buddy.
I have a good one. VR.
I'm going to start
Look
a VR workout regime. And I'm going to do it for 1 month. 1 month. Okay? I mean, I'm serious about it too. I'm going to do it for 1 month, 4 times a week, or every other day, whatever it is. You know, if I skip a day, then I'll anyway, 4 days a week. And I'll do it for an hour at a time, each time. And you have my measurements. You personally have my measurements, Angel. You have them written down.
I do.
And we're going to touch back on those in 2 weeks. And I also have purchased a heart rate monitor, a proper one that'll go underneath those titties that you saw.
Those.
These ones, okay? So they'll go underneath those ones. And I don't know what to do with the heart rate monitor, actually, though. But I'm just going to kind of figure out when I'm completely off my head. And that'll be my heart rate for when I'm like, and then I'll actually try to keep it under that, to be honest with you.
I don't know if you're interested in this, and I don't want to fuck it up because I really love to hear what you're saying. But since I know that you're competitive, as I am fucking very competitive,
I like it for the fun. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, for the fun, for the entertainment. But there's definitely a competitive spirit. I know it.
Sure.
But I could give you some measurements of me, and we could try to go toe to toe.
See, I wasn't going to make it about this, Angel. I wasn't going to try to like do something like this, but
I know you weren't.
But yeah, fine. Sounds good to me. I mean,
I'm saying just for the sake of fun. If it's not something that will help, then then fuck it. Just do it.
No.
Like, definitely do it. But I legitimately am happy you're doing this. I think it's fantastic because I've felt better in the last year of me trying to be healthier. So I just want to give you as much support as I can.
Well, let me say this. Are you already hitting the ground running? Are you already like kind of got your groove going right now, or do you feel like you could push yourself harder and you've been slacking and you could like kind of start fresh?
No, I definitely need to. So yes, I have kind of been hitting the ground running, but I don't. Now I really want to see improvements. Like, I'm starting to feel physically better, but now I want to look physically better.
I mean, but do you?
So there's a lot of changes.
How are you measuring success? How are you measuring success?
Well, that's the thing is I haven't done the counting calories. I haven't stepped on a fucking scale. I haven't done any of that. I've taken a picture of myself with my shirt off, similar to you.
Okay.
And that was like, I think a few months ago. That was before I got this beast of a treadmill that's sitting over there.
Yeah. I wish I had a treadmill, by the way.
Dude, let me tell you something. I fucking love that thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just started building up to an hour every time I use it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like I'm going to black out, but it's great.
Well, listen. I don't know what you're going to do here. All right, let's talk about that in a second. Let's talk about that in a second. So let me tell you about. No, absolutely. See, like I said, this is something I wasn't anticipating necessarily, but I'm glad you're interested. So let me tell you about this VR workout. Okay. Let me pull this up here. So the big ones to do are Beat Saber. Beat Saber is the big one. Very popular in VR, as we all know. Let's give you a little show here. So anyway, this guy's like moving around, jumping around. Okay, so you do a little bit of that. That's fine and everything. Honestly, like that, I don't think it'll get you very far. I don't think it's really. So what I'm saying is putting on some forearm weights and actually like doing it that way. But I think that'd just be good for arms, to be honest with you. I don't think that's a very good aerobic thing. Gorn was fucking. Have you played Gorn?
No, I don't even know.
Oh man, that was like a goofy kind of gladiator game, but you really had to work it. Oh, it's great.
I think this is great for fucking cardio, man. This almost reminds me of like a DDR thing because you are moving your whole body, your hips. Like, I think you'd get some good cardio.
I think you got to put something heavy on your back. And you got to ramp up the difficulty, I think.
But I mean, don't you think you should start light so that way you don't burn yourself out right away?
But honestly, dude, this is nothing, man. Like, this really isn't anything. I mean, yeah, no, sure. I'll definitely, no, I'll have to ramp it up quickly. I know it. I know I will. But I think this is more for arms, to be honest with you. I don't know, though. Maybe you're right. We'll figure something out. But I got this, and it's a great game. Let me show you this one, though. This is what I think is good for cardio. It's called Pistol Whip. And it is like a John Wick game where you're just kind of being barreled down this pathway and you're shooting all these dudes coming in. Right? And this is kind of at a normal setting and it looks boring, but he's got it. So when you shoot these guys, the gun basically automatically aims, so it's kind of wussy. It doesn't really, it's not very good. There's no real skill involved, but I guess if you're just working out, it's fine. You can turn up the amount of guys that come up. But what I really like is turning off the aim assist. And this is what this winner right here is doing. And he's got aim assist off, and he's got it on hard mode where there's just a bunch of people. Now, it starts off like you literally have to aim this gun, and you've got to actually aim correctly, and shoot them. And I've already done it. It's freaking intense. But look at this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. So you're just constantly moving, dodging these things, dodging the bullets. Sometimes, and of course, when you're not good, like this guy's good. When you're not good, you're missing, and so they keep shooting at you, and you have to keep dodging all those bullets, and you're moving constantly. I mean, imagine just putting on like a 20-pound backpack, or even having arm wrist weights as well. But just doing this, I mean, look how he's bending down and everything like this. This is what you do, dude. It's crazy, and you feel like Keanu Reeves shooting all the bad guys. And it's great. It's called Pistol Whip.
That looks pretty cool.
Oh, it's great. No, it's awesome. And it's challenging. So here's what's going on. You got to work out like this. I mean, will it work? I don't even know if it'll work. I'm going to give myself 30 days. We'll see what happens. Okay? Give myself 30 days. We'll see what happens. I'll be developing a skill. It'll keep me going. I can ramp it up with weights and things like this, and there's difficulty levels, la. There's all kinds of other games also for VR, So I'm just going to go into it, and that's it. I'm not going to run. I'm not going to lift. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to do VR, and I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens. So that's my thing. Okay, 4 shows. So I will say, okay, by the 4th show, because it's not Thursday yet, so I'm going to start before Thursday. I'll start tomorrow, do an hour, and by the 4th show, so this is the first show. By the 4th show, we'll see where the results are with me. And I just want to say what I'm going to do for diet. I don't want to put too much on me. I'm going to do my intermittent fast that I do normally. I start eating at 1 p.m. and then I stop eating at 9, and that's the feeding window, as they say over at H3 Podcast. And I've been doing that, but I haven't been strict. So I'm just going to be strict and just start there.
Are you going to calorie count or anything like that?
No, I'm not going to do that to myself yet. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do after the 30 days. And this is kind of whatever. After 30 days, I think I'm going to just go down to 1 meal a day and eat whatever I want. If VR is going well, I'll keep going with that. If it's not, which I don't expect it to, I'm not going to lie, but I'm going to try. I did the pistol whip the other day and I was fucking sweating my balls off. I was sweating. So it could be a good starting thing. So at least I'll be started up with that, right? And ready to do stuff. Then I'm going to do kettlebells and probably frickin' running. I hate to do running, but unless I find some really awesome aerobic workout with VR, I'm going to run and do kettlebells. And so then I'm going to 1 meal a day. And that's my plan.
You're going to do the kettlebells and the running if the VR doesn't render results.
If I'm not able to build strength from VR, I'll do kettlebells. If the VR keeps me aerobically, if I can get there with using my heart rate monitor, and I'll do all the calculations and everything. If I'm able to get there with VR aerobically, I'll stay with it and I won't run. But I imagine I'll do kettlebells anyway. I just imagine I'm going to do kettlebells no matter what. I just think they're awesome. I did them for a while in the past and they're great. They really, you think you just do a couple of these and then you're just like, Jesus. And the next day you're just sore all over the place. And you just did 20, it's perfect. It's great. I don't know.
I love it.
And then I'm going to eat meat and I'm going to eat whatever the fuck I want. But I think I'll just do 1 meal a day and just pig out.
So I have to ask then, have you done any research to see if anyone else has tried something similar with VR?
With VR, no. But this website here, let's see. This website, VR Fitness Insider, where the first video was from, or the first 2, I guess. That's what really got me going. They got me to do. I'll just show the website. They got me to do the heart rate monitor. They told me about Pistol Whip, that game, the John Wick game. they're basically, it's a little cheesy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I see
But
the guy doing the little curl
Yeah, with the
with the VR headset.
Oh, is that what they want you to do? Oh, they just want you to lift the VR unit. I see. But yeah, like they I don't know. They're just kind of advocating. Look at this. This is pretty cool. Look at this. I just kind of want to show you this. Path of the Warrior. Look at this.
Oh, God.
Look at this. We'll do sound. Look at this.
Oh, I love it.
Look. Watch. For those of you listening on the podcast, this is a game called Path of the Warrior, where it is like Double Dragon or Streets of Rage or Final Fight, and we are watching the classic version of this 2D game, but in the game, the character puts on a VR mask and boom, it turns into a 3D version of the game in virtual reality. Path of the Warrior. Isn't that great?
Dude, this is awesome.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
Oh my God.
I looked it up.
That's cool.
I was gonna buy it, and they tell you how the intensity. They give you all these stats and stuff. It's pretty cool, actually. I'm not gonna lie, but I looked at it, and I think it's a really short game. I think when they start adding more shit to it, I'll probably buy it. But it looks cool.
That looks really awesome, actually. Yeah. I was just looking up something because I remember. Back in the day, there was a similar thing with Dance Dance Revolution. Do you remember this?
Okay.
And here's an article from 2018.
Yeah.
Guy lost 125 pounds.
Yeah.
But it was a real thing. Like, I remember people going to one of the theaters in the desert, because there was one place where you could always find Dance Dance Revolution. And
he was paying for it and he lost weight.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Did he wear any like weights and stuff, or he just played the game?
I think he just played the game.
Crazy. I don't know. It'd be so cool if I didn't have to wear weights and I would start losing weight on VR. It'd be amazing.
I mean, a lot of it's diet too. I'm sure this guy had worse eating habits, but I mean, that's the thing too, is the more physical activity that you do, the less you're going to be able to consume. And especially when you consume like heavy fatty foods.
Yeah.
Like you're
which
drained.
I do.
Yeah. Well, we all do. We love them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the flavor is.
I have to say though, something about America, man, I got in here and my shit is more sticky. My
you gotta stop playing with it.
I feel like I'm not shitting as much, and everything just makes me feel heavier than, because I've been in Mexico for like 3 months at least.
So a similar thing happened to me when I came back from Argentina, and I went to a doctor because of it, and they said that it was just the amount of sodium and the amount of preservatives that are in food here are just not in in other countries, especially Central and South American countries. You have like green grocers and stores where it's just like, yeah, you buy something for the week and then that's it. It's going to go bad.
Right. Well, that's exactly my theory.
It stays for a month.
Yeah, exactly. That is my theory, because it's like I'm not eating anymore. So what's going on here? It's not like I'm eating completely different stuff. Like what's happening? It's got to be the way the food is, processed, and I hate to use that word, but I guess the ingredients and things like this are using other preservatives. It has to be. What else could it be? Or it could be the genetics of the fruits and the wheats, and I don't know, but it happens every time, and I just get plump when I'm here, and I don't necessarily eat more or less,
Yeah, I don't know what the key to eating here is, whether it's organic. I mean, I have horrible eating habits as it is.
Do you though? But you're like, you're kind of vegetarian. It's been getting a lot
better. Yeah, it's been getting a lot better. Like that.
So what do you end up eating that you don't eat meat? Like, what are you eating that's horrible?
Well, all right. So let's take what I just ate right now, which was a grilled cheese sandwich.
Okay.
Right? Not the
Yeah.
best thing for you. And I think I had it on a brioche too, so it was like doubly fatty. And then I buttered the brioche. So I know it gets worse and worse. But goddamn, was it tasty.
And then I deep fried. Then I dipped it in batter and deep fried it.
Oh
Yeah.
man. But no, all right, so I sent you a picture of the pasta that I made.
Skype?
No. On
back
on
in the day.
Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day, like a couple days ago.
Okay.
And that was a veggie pasta. So it was spaghetti that was made from vegetables. The meat was Beyond Meat, and then it was a vodka cheese sauce.
It's called the We Ruined Your Healthy Meal sauce.
Yeah, but it's fucking delicious. And then I threw some spinach, some fresh spinach in there that I chopped up, some fresh garlic, a little bit of rosemary, a little bit of cayenne for just a tad bit of cayenne.
Okay.
And then some salt. But that's the other problem. So I think my problem isn't necessarily the food that I'm eating, but I cannot portion control. I am like, I am like fucking Rubidoux, man. You put that food in front of me, and I cannot stop myself from finishing it.
Yeah. Portly cat shared by me and my ex-roommate Ben Dines.
Sorry, yeah, I should have put in some context to that.
Well, otherwise Ben might get upset. Listen, okay. Do you want to do something or what? You want to make some kind of bet, or what are we doing here?
Well, I don't want to jump on your bandwagon here.
Okay.
I don't even know.
Don't
if that's
you
the right
dare
fucking
jump
thing.
on my bandwagon. Okay.
Well, no, I don't. I don't want to fuck up what you're doing. You got a thing?
No, it's dude. Okay, let's not go into that. No, it's not. No. What do you want to do? You want to? No, come on. Let's not waste time here. What do you want to do?
Yeah, let's do a bet.
How do we do this?
A bet.
So what are the metrics? What are the metrics?
Shit.
Skin fold. Let skin fold. You want to just go pure millimeters?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, just pure millimeters on. How about average of tits, belly, and hips? Yeah.
I like that. Okay.
Okay. Average on tits, belly, hits of what we lost. So it's tits plus belly plus hips divided by 3, right? And then I don't know. You want to just do that? You want to just do skin? You just want to do folds?
Let's do folds. That'll be
just
fun.
folds. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. When we come back from the break, we're gonna decide what the bet is. Okay? Because we got to take a break. We got to get out of here. So when we come back from the break, we will decide on what our bet is going to be. Coming up on the show, I didn't even mention anything. We have a young Mexican, I would say a young Hispanic man living in Mexico who lived there more than half his life. Highly politically charged, but from what I can tell, I met the guy. He's a nice guy. And he's going to tell us what's really going on there in Mexico with the cartels and American relations and all that kind of stuff, at least from that point of view. Sounds good to me. I don't know. So we will be back. If you want to see that interview on YouTube, you can at Jordan's Moves, as well as this pre-interview section. But yes, please come back with us right after this. What are you looking at, Angel? So why not just use soap and water to remove booty smells like a regular person? Well, the problem is toilet paper. Yes, that stuff we use every day is making you stink without you even knowing it. And it goes like this.
Say you're hiking through the mighty land and oops, you fell into the mud and look, it's all over your hands. All you can do is wipe them off with the napkins you have stuffed in your pockets, but of course you know that they won't totally clean all the mud off. There's still going to be a thin layer of dirt on your palms that won't go away until you find a sink or a river. Well, the same thing is happening in the bathroom, friends. We are literally rubbing our bunk into our trunk, and it just sits there all day until we shower. And in the meantime, that thin layer begins to marinate under the skin. And once it's in there, it's impossible to wash out. We can scrub and scrub and scrub, but there will always be that certain essence left over. I don't even want to mention what happens after a few years of this behavior. And baby wipes don't get everything. Definitely not the stuff that's already in there. So we're still stuck in the muck. The only way to lift that baked-on booty is Booty Fresh. The Booty Fresh is not a cover-up. Instead, it pulls out and zaps the odor-causing bacteria that is hiding underneath the skin that regular soap and water and washing and scrubbing just can't get out. No, this is not a joke, and yes, it really works. You just spray it on, let it sit, rinse it off, and bam, the sweet smell of nothing. Never worry again about ruining your chances with that hot date or missing a shower because you're off slaying that dragon. Booty Fresh gets you back to zero with just one use, and you can actually feel it working. Booty Fresh is made with totally natural ingredients already meant for the skin, and one use will work up to a whole week. So for all your intimate close encounters, or to just make sure that you're OCD clean back there, spray on Booty Fresh and bring out only the truest you. Get some Booty Fresh and love your butt.
Available at Amazon.com.
Okay, so we'll do that. Okay, so then what? Whoever loses the average skin fold in millimeters, whoever loses the most, what? What's the bet?
Yeah, I thought that's what we're gonna do. The average.
What's the bet? What's the winnings? What's the winnings?
So I'm thinking either a really good cheat meal, like
no
one
cheat meal. No. I'm no.
Okay.
Let's make a bet. I'm gonna bet that we can ruin our nutrition. The winner gets to ruin. Look, I'll show you what's going on here, Fabrizio. All right, we can roll it here. All right, everyone, welcome back to the show. With us right now, and looking at my moment of shame here, with us is Fabrizio Satorno. Satorno.
That's right.
Is that right? Good to see you today.
Yeah.
What do you think of what you're laying your eyes on right here? Me and Angel are just finishing up a bet.
It's a lot of material to work on. A lot of material, a lot of love. That's working material. Yeah.
All right, so Angel, what is the bet? Okay, let's quit fucking around here. What is the bet?
All right, so we're gonna do an hour a day,
Okay.
5 days a week.
Okay.
We're gonna push it to 5.
Okay, because you usually do more than an hour. So that's gonna push me, it is. So I don't know what's gonna happen. Okay, so whoever wins the best average of lost millimeters in the 3 skin folds wins. Now, when are you gonna measure yourself though?
I guess I gotta go quick. So
You gotta go.
send me a link of the tool you're using, and I'll pick one up tomorrow. Because you're gonna start this tomorrow, right?
It's just this caliber thing. It's just this cheesy thing I bought at the hardware store. You can, and it hurts. You can buy ones that are meant for measuring skin folds, but it's just this.
Should I get the exact same one so that way we're...
No, it's just like there's an inch, and no, I trust you because it's all about what you lose,
Okay.
Unless the inches are different on it. Don't get those. Don't get
I
those
think
short
an inch
inches.
is an inch.
Yeah, right. Don't get those short inches. Don't fuck me on this, man. Okay. Now, I'm sorry about this, Fabrizio. One moment, please.
Oh,
So if I win, what do I win? If you win, what do you win? We still haven't talked
That's a
about
good
it.
one.
Should we just do $100?
I know. You want to do $100? You want to do
$100?
cold hard cash? How about cold hard cash and one smack on the stomach? Bare hand.
Bare hand.
Flat hand. Just
Flat hand? No, I can do. No, that'll fuck us. Okay, one smack on the stomach. Okay, can I
smack
put
on
my
the
hand?
stomach.
But we can put our arms around the neck. Okay. So if I'm facing you, I can put my arms around your head, and then you go like that. Okay. All right.
I'm just gonna do just a slap, just a
no, because then you can really just. But if I do this, it kind of you can't just like. I don't know. Okay, a slap in the stomach and $100.
A slap in the stomach,
$100. All right, you're on.
All right,
Pow.
I like it.
Pound it. Okay, that was really cheesy. Sorry. Okay, anyway. So we're on. Fabrizio, let me show you my Okay, no, I'm not going to show it. Fuck it. Forget it. Okay, Fabrizio, welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, my friend. This is Bravely Mistaken. With us right now is Fabrizio Satorno. He is, I would say, someone, the youth of Mexico, a man living in Mexico from Uruguay, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Been living here for 14 years.
14 years, okay.
Yep.
And so he's been living in Mexico for 14 years. He is in the Cabo area right now, where I will be flying back to on Wednesday. And he's somewhat of from our mutual friend, an opinionated young man about politics in the area, politics of America with Mexico, the cartels, and all these kinds of things. So really, we're going to be jumping into what all of that is. So I really want to just open up with a pretty, I guess a question that's on a lot of people's minds is, does the cartel control a lot of Mexico? Do they actually have a very strong hold on Mexico?
In some local areas, they do. They don't have there are many different organizations, so they don't have like a unified, widespread control.
Okay.
But in localities and municipalities where they do have a strong local control, places where they even charge businesses a quote for so-called protection, and places where they pressure, or to say the least, the politicians, and there is this saying that when a mayor comes into a city, some cities, and I've heard, they put a gun on his desk with one hand, and with the other they put this suitcase with full of money.
Yeah.
And this is for you or your family. Which one do you take?
Plomo or plato?
Did you get that?
Plomo or plato? Angel, what'd you say?
Isn't that what it is? Plomo or what is it? Plomo or plato? What is
it? So you want the gun or you want the money?
Plata. Plomo or plata?
Plata or plomo first?
Plata or plomo?
Yeah. First the money, then yeah.
I thought plato was a duck.
It's also silver.
Oh yeah. It's silver, of course. It's silver. Okay, so this happens. So let's take a place like Cabo. Is the cartel running Cabo?
All right. No, not running Cabo, no. But 2 years ago, there was this massacre here. They killed 1,000 people in Nol Baja. So I know the lag is showing a smile, but that doesn't bring a smile on my face at all. And yeah, nope. Thank God, now it's all changed.
So you said quiet. 2 years ago there was thousands of people. Was this in San Jose?
Not only in Los Cabos, but in the whole state of Baja California Sur.
Okay, South Baja.
I'm talking about San Jose, Cabo San Lucas, La Paz, Los Santos, all these places. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for everyone at home, Baja is the kind of finger, the digit on the west side of Mexico that sticks out like a peninsula. It's like a really big Florida, and they have Baja North and Baja South, and Baja Norte, Baja Sur, and Cabo's Baja Sur. So there was kind of massacres all throughout Baja. You say in the last 2 years, 1,000 people.
In 2017, it was very daily in a consistent base. bases, and it was very sad. And they killed a lot of young people, people of all ages, of all sexes.
What was it? Tourists or locals?
No. It was mainly people that were in the business, because another cartel came to take over, and they had an agreement, or nobody really knows about this because it's like under the table, But obviously they had some sort of agreement with the government back at the time, because we only have a highway here, and the highway has cameras on it, and they like. It didn't take Sherlock Holmes to solve any of these things out. No?
Right. So you're saying there's one highway going down Baja. There really is only one main highway going down Baja. And you say there's cameras all over the highway, and so that everyone could really see what was going on. Because it's really difficult. Baja is it's desert, it's dirt, it's hot, it's dry. So it's very difficult to stay off the main roads. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and because of the way the cities were urbanized. For example, the Transpeninsular Highway that goes all the way from Tijuana down to Cabo San Lucas was there since the 70s around, but the Los Cabos start growing.
Mexico won.
They start growing a lot since the 90s. So it wasn't really the cities here weren't really in Baja weren't really well planned. Maybe La Paz a little better, but San Jose and Cabo San Lucas, they have a lot of problems to solve in what comes to urbanization. But that thing that there was only one main road and it's a small town, everybody could know, like if the forces of order really wanted to protect and avoid what happened, they could have done something, and they didn't. But now, thankfully, it's all very calm. Very calm. There's no shootings like on the streets here, and there's nothing that gets the news,
So I was there. Sorry, Angel. In 2 years ago, or 2017, I was there, and they had just had a shootout on the beach of Palmilla. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah,
it was horrible.
And they. What happened was I was with my ex-girlfriend down there, and we were with a mutual friend, and I say, "Oh, tell us a good beach to go to. Tell us a nice beach to go to." And she said, "Oh, go to Palmilla." And we went down there, and we're down there on the beach, and then we just see army people. Which I mean, I see army people all the time in Mexico. It's not a big deal, but I see them like going around the rocks on the water with their guns, like looking behind like kind of the rocks that are like coming out, like, and we're going, what the fuck's going on? And I go back and I say, what the hell happened? And she told us that there was this big shootout on the beach. And I said, what the fuck are you doing telling us to go to this beach where there's a big shootout? And she goes, well, there's not a shootout now, so it's fine. I swear to God, man. And
I don't think anyone being persecuted will go there again.
Well, like I was saying, it's kind of like I was saying to my mom, because I told her that. She's like, "Oh my God, really?" And I said, "Well, Mom, it's like after Jack in the Box, Angel, when they had the E. coli breakout, then it was the safest freaking place to eat in the world, after the E. coli breakout, because they made damn sure." But anyway, yeah, I just found it so interesting that. It's just like, well, the shootout's done. Okay, go back to, you just go to the beach again.
And again, if you've been to Cabo and you've been to Palmilla, you know that first it's a residential area, very high class residential area.
Definitely.
And the access to it is only one street.
It's just yes.
Street where you can ride the Batimobile, if you know what I mean. It's not like you have to go like slow and stuff.
Right.
If they had put a barricade. And that street leads to Transpeninsular, which you can also block. There was no way out.
Right.
There had to be like an agreement or some sort.
But do you know what happened on that beach? I mean, I never actually found out what really happened. Do you know what happened in that day, those days?
The same thing that happened a thousand times. No, they were following someone that was in the business on the other side.
But how did they end up down there at the beach? Like you said, the road, like it's a windy road. It's a residential stop signs. You got to turn this way and that way, and it really is like a slow road. How did a shootout happen at that beach? Specifically, do you remember?
Yeah, it was in we say in Spanish we say el colmo, like something that is over the top. It's over the top because it has no explanation other than they had to have an agreement with the government or something. I don't know, because there's no way that you get into that place that it's stupid because it's not good. It's not good for the government for those things to happen like out there, like really like in everyone's eyesight in the iconic places of a touristic city, you know.
So that's an interesting point. So the government doesn't like this. They're actively trying to lessen these things. I think a big myth in America is that if you get pulled over by the army, they're going to want bribes or
no, they're not the army.
Not the army, right? And that's the thing, that the army's not really, the government doesn't want the army doing that kind of stuff, and to have shootouts, I guess, to have shootouts on the beach, the government really doesn't want this. Like they actually are actively trying to stop this from happening.
Yeah, more so with the new president. The whole strategy has changed. Yeah, the last two governments, they had this policy of the war on drugs, right? And since the war on drugs started in 2006 by Calderon, more than 200,000 people have been killed. So it's like a Syria war.
Okay.
It's a civil war because it's a fucking hydra. What has changed? Nothing. Consumption up. The income, the earnings of these organizations go up, and if you increase their firepower and the people that pay the toll, it's these little young men that they get like fucking like cannon meat in the process. You don't touch shit. You don't touch even a hair of the real guys. You know.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. It's something I'm always curious on, and something I've seen in other South American countries anyway, other than Central America and Mexico, is usually the populace, like because the governments aren't usually doing a lot for their citizens, the cartels or even guerrilla armies and other organizations, they have more free reign because the people are like, you know, the hell with it. Just let them be, you know, like no one really complains because they're just like, you know what? They bring in money. I can get work from them. I can't get work from my government. I can't get a job. I have an education. I'm young. I need to feed my family. And they provide an opportunity that the country can't. So a lot of people get sucked into it.
But is that
it's their own means. I don't know if that's true in this case.
Yeah, it is true. It is true. In some municipalities, some couples are very idolatized because they do pour money and you know they have to launder the money, so they put businesses and stuff and they help people with that. And the thing is that I think like drugs are a reality and 200,000 people shouldn't be killed in vain for a failed strategy on attacking an idea and a market which in reality it's not being attacked because they, you know, like HSBC and these banks, they have all the money, like the laundered money. No one's gonna touch them. Like how does all these things get into the United States?
Dude, I swear to God, like the whole banking system down there, they're so weird about laundering. I just opened a bank account down there just with my name So I'm going to start doing some real estate stuff. And the level of security and like checks I had to go through, it was like blowing my mind. They had to find out what just for a regular bank account, they had to find out what my business is, have like credible, I guess, stories and like explanations of what I did and how I made money. Every time I sign into the bank and every step I do, I have to like type a separate code into my phone, like the token codes now. And it's just token code to every single click I make. I have to put a new token in and send them this authentication. It's crazy. And then of course my partner down there is saying it's because it's all the money laundering and everything that's going on. Yeah, it's like a real thing.
Yeah, and now that the fiscalization is getting more serious. It's getting more. Everything is getting more serious now. So the past idea of Mexico, I think.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. What Angel's saying, like somewhere like Cabo or something like this, are there people that idolize the cartel in Cabo, or is it like in cities and things like this, or is it more out in the country kind of thing? Is it more kind of the like out in Sinaloa or Michoacan and things like this? Are there people who do kind of get pulled into it in an urban setting?
In a widespread cultural level, there are these things called narco-corridos.
Narco-corridos, sí. Yeah.
Narco-corridos. Yeah, and also Netflix and stuff, and all these series about the narcos, no? So in a widespread sense, there is this kind of vague romance, of the concept of these people.
I see.
But I think mainly in little towns, like in areas that have been normally, as you said, as Angel said, left out of progress, to say the least. They do pour money in there. It is a business, right? And so it's generating money for families.
I see.
Feeding people. So they're going to defend their income, right? And
would families and sisters and wives, etc., they would. Is there some kind of reverence there as well, like a kind of they revere the cartels, or is it kind of like
not in San Jose, not in Los Cabos.
Sure, not in Los Cabos, but in these places where you're saying they're pouring money, is it something that they say it's a necessary evil, like it's something they just have to put up with, or are they actually, like I say, mothers and wives and sisters, etc., not men, or people not in the cartel? Is there reverence for it, from maybe non-cartel members, but family members?
Yeah, I remember a story. I don't remember which state. But they tried to canonize the narco.
Really? How were they trying to canonize the narcos?
I don't know. They had like this altar for him, and for one narco from that town, I guess he made money or some stuff, and he poured it into the town, right? So,
wow.
No, it's all good. What I was saying is it's a similar thing as to what happened in like Colombia, with the Ochoa family and Escobar, where the cartels really try to insert themselves into the government itself, so that way they could control policies, they could make things a lot more legal, and their reasoning behind it to the citizens to try and get people to rally up with them is to say all this violence, all this stuff is the government fighting us, and we're providing jobs to these people that would just be forgotten by your government. But we won't forget you. We're making real money. We're making real income. So follow us, and then we'll take care of you. But the problem with putting people like that in charge, and we've seen it time and time again, is that organization just breeds a lot of chaos, and it never turns out the way you want it to, and it sucks because you really want your government to take care of you. And when you're poor, it's very hard to make that distinction between who's right and who's wrong. If you're starving and a cartel member is going to come up to you and say, I'm going to feed you and your family for a year if you support me. But you go to your government says, hey, I have no work. We have no jobs. There's nothing we can do. Figure it out. You're going to feed your family. You're going to take care of yourself. So it's such a, and I've told people this 1,000 times over and over again. You know, I've struggled before. I've been poor before. I've lived in horrible communities before. And you see these kids and you say, listen, if you go to your school and you go and you get a college education, maybe, if you're lucky, you'll make just enough to afford a basic apartment. Or you can go sell drugs for a few hours and make what most people make in a year in a course of 3 or 4 weeks. To a kid, it makes no sense. Like, why should I struggle to maybe make an okay living when I can risk a lot of things in my life to make some quick, easy cash, and I barely have to do anything? It's so hard when you're struggling to really make that choice. And I think that's what I think, in my personal opinion, what a lot of people in poorer areas in Mexico are probably suffering from, and it sucks.
And Angel, in South America, they're like with plantations like Coke. The Coke has a traditional use in South America. It's not like cocaine. It's so if you give more value to a crop, the traditional crop, like and the farmers don't have any other choice, because again it's a little bit like plata o plomo too, right? So to add more onto the pressure of poverty and exclusion. So yeah, they are pretty much like on a road with no exit. Right?
Go ahead, Dave.
I lived in Argentina for years, and that's where my mother's from, and that's where a lot of my family still lives. And yeah, the coca leaf is like, when you go up into the hills and the mountains and the high altitude, like that's 90% of what they do. They just take it and they chew it, and they say it gives you a little bit of energy. And in itself, the coca leaf, nothing's bad for you. But the second you process that stuff, it's just like, if you see what those farmers are doing, they're dousing it in petrol. Like, that's one of the processes. It's like, holy shit, yeah, you're snorting gasoline, dude. And that's the good stuff. That's the pure stuff, is fucking gasoline. But the plant itself, they burn these crops, they burn these things, and it's just like, no, like you're burning a plant that, is not really doing anything harmful. It's just you're processing it horribly. If you did the same thing to marijuana, it's going to be just as bad for you and probably still get you fucked up.
Do that to anything. If you put a piece of bread into gasoline,
100%, 100%.
Well, everyone, I just want to be clear here that Bravely Mistaken does not condone the use of cocaine, but we do condone the use of chewing cocaine leaves. So anyway, Senor, I want to actually ask you this concept of the government taking care of you in Mexico. What is Mexico's kind of? I mean, that would be more a question for me. I mean, it's certainly like for American people. We'll get into what your guys' take on America is. You living in Mexico, but do you guys have a feeling that the government is there in any capacity, or do you feel like that you are? Oh my God, my mom came in. Jesus Christ! Hold on. Oh my God!
I jinxed it. I jinxed it.
Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, I love my mother. Thank you, Mom. Oh, okay.
Okay. I get.
Oh no, that's staying in there. So go ahead, please.
It has to stay.
Yeah, of course.
So to answer that question, I think there was a change, and the feeling of the majority, and this is like very high percentage of the people in Mexico. There has been a change since Andrés Manuel López Obrador came into office. Before, and now there is a very interesting topic here, because in the States, the former Secretary of State of Mexico, you would call it Secretary of State, I guess.
Yes.
He's imprisoned. No?
Okay.
He's imprisoned in the United States, and he is going to testify. And when he does, he might as well testify something in the order of what Chapo Guzman did, that Calderon and Peña Nieto were taking millions from the cartels.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And I think, yeah, the cartel did had a lot of access even to the intelligence of the Mexican government and the intelligence apparatus. And that's how they like find all their victims and the people that had to take over. And apparently the government was favoring one cartel over the other. I think the Sinaloa but recently another one really took a lot of power, and I think it was the one that took over here. But since Andres Manuel came into office, like I think that the perspective has changed. And the first things he did were like giving social supports and, for example, scholarships and very low interest or no interest rate loans, and changing the whole parameter of the government spending, implementing austerity for the top and a little bit of help for the poor, which in many countries in Latin America, when it is done, like it was done by the pink tide from the 2000 to 2015. And for example, in Argentina, that was doomed after 2002. The government there started like giving money out to the base, and that promoted promoting consumption, and that promoted industrialization, and that brought like this cycle of growth, and plus the prices of wheat and all this stuff, and soy, so-called soy, but for example, right now, and I think this was since the start of this year, we have a new universal health service. They before IMSS really went to a very high percentage of the people that was professional. And there was another that was called Seguro Popular that went to another percentage of the people, but it was all a mess. And like IMSS worked perfectly. I mean, IMSS is a very good institute. It's a very good institute. Actually, doctors that work in IMSS then fly to the States and work in places where they charge you like $100,000 for an surgery and stuff.
I see.
And so right now, Andres Manuel put this service, universal healthcare program, without all that much of.
So this idea that government's doing something, there's a trust in the government, because otherwise they're just taking money. Everything that goes into the government's just taking it for themselves. They're tied in with the cartel, but that's part of it as well. But you're saying that now with this new elected president, there's hope and things are actually changing, and the guy's kind of taking a bit more of a strong arm. Do you think that? I mean, obviously, like you said, the towns. Not every city and not every area is controlled by cartel, but it sounds like the government's heavily tied in. What does that mean for the cartel? Like how would they kind of respond to something like this? What are the expectations with this stronger president being in office?
I wouldn't expect any retaliation if there is any provocation, because the war on drugs was a provocation. It was telling them to get armed because we're going for you, and you have to get armed and you have to start killing or be killed. Mm-hmm. And so now I think the policy would be like, okay, you're like in this town, in a city, let's make these are the rules. Okay, you can work here, you can do this shit, but don't start messing with civilians, but don't start making a lot of fuss. Bring order to the thing, and it's going to be beneficial for everyone.
And you're saying that the government is now in this way allowing them to do what they do, but it's saying, listen, just chill out with I guess family tourists, whoever it might be. They're saying, okay, you've got to do it because it's a necessary evil in a sense, because it's so tied in, but there's going to be some restrictions. You're saying that is how it's going, basically?
I think it is, but I think that's the aim. Because in some states the thing's going on, right?
Right.
So, but that's like the aim, that to normalize, to bring peace, stability, and economic development in the base. So So people are not forced, like Angel said, to be in the hands of the cartels.
I see. So, Angel, go ahead.
Basically, I'm just asking if anyone in the communities there was hoping that the U.S. in some way would intervene just because of our close relationship. I know the difficulties with the current administration kind of suck, and I know it kind of sucks to even say that because I think that this is all something that the country can handle by itself, but I feel very close because we're so close with Canada. You know, the US
I think a better
Canadian
Angel,
relationship.
I think a better question, Angel, is what are Mexicans feeling that the involvement of America is in with the drug trade? Like, how does that work? Like, what is the take on that in Mexico?
Okay,
because we don't even know. You know, we don't even know.
The take is like a military intervention. God no, no. Like, and I think that is a widespread feeling because in social media that was the reaction. No, get out. Like, you know the expression, like, gringo, where did it come from? No,
Yeah.
from the American-Mexican War.
Yeah.
And so, like, you look at Colombia, for example, it's full of military bases, but no solutions.
Right.
And and actually, if you attack the cartel on these ways, they're gonna think of ways to fuck up, like what happened in Sinaloa. I don't know if you heard, no? That somebody captured, like, gave the order to capture the son of the Chapo.
And then they gave him back.
They gave him back because the cartel took over the city.
Yeah.
Took over the city and called the families of the soldiers all over, like, the state, and tell them to not get involved, or like
I couldn't fucking believe that happened. I couldn't believe it. But it was, what are you going to do? Like, that's the thing. In that situation, what the hell are you going to do?
And the decision of the president was backed by the people. It was backed by the people.
Mm-hmm.
But the majority of people have said backed the decision to give him back. Because the cost in human lives would have been high. It would have been high.
Now, why are they so vicious? Why is the cartel so vicious, and so much so that they feel like they want to take over and be in charge of Mexico? Like, why are they so? I guess they feel they can do this.
They don't want to be in charge of Mexico. They want to do their thing.
They just want to do their thing.
They want to do their thing. They want to get their money. They want to get what they do, get what they want. But I don't think they want to be in charge of Mexico. In this case, it was a reaction that caused the solution they wanted. They had their boy back, okay, and they went back to where they came from. That's
okay.
It.
So when it comes down to all this stuff, because Americans think they're going to come to Mexico, they're going to get kidnapped, they're going to get their throats cut. They're going to be held for ransom, and they think they're going to get in the middle of a drug war. Like, how much reality is there to these kind of major fears, huge fears in America, that this is the story?
Okay, that could happen anywhere around the world.
Yeah.
But okay, that aside, you have to look at the news of where you're going. No, you're coming to Cabo right now, no problem at all. So you look at the news of the place you're going and see what's going on. And for example, I think the U.S. government gives you an alert, actually, on the cities and the states where it might be dangerous to go.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but really, like, let's say that there was some danger. Do tourists really have to worry that much? I mean, yes, there's some weird flukes and stuff. Weird. Like for instance, those, I guess I forgot where they're from, but it was in Monterrey. I think it was Monterrey, and a bunch of Mormons got. Yeah. What was my whole thinking is, like,
that's horrible.
It's awful, yeah. But my whole thinking is that I think that whoever killed them made a mistake. Killed a couple of them. Said, "Oh shit. These aren't the guys," and then they had to kill everybody. What do you think about? I've heard that theory before as well. What do you think about that theory?
Yeah, that's probably they expected the guy to be there, but actually that family. Well,
What do you mean
it's
they
not-
expect the guy to be
it's
there?
not. I don't know if it was they expected another guy to be there or one of the guys from the family, like the father or something.
Uh-huh.
But they wanted to make him pay some price. I don't know, like
Okay, so
underwater price.
so you are thinking that somehow that family was involved with something.
That family that had very like from what I read, it had a lot of like problems around. Like they have these lots of water pumps and water sources, and they kept them from the farmers around. And I don't know, they had problems like for 20 years or so. And probably it was a family with a lot of power in the region, so probably had a lot of entanglement in there, no?
I see.
So I cannot tell that, but that's
course.
my feeling.
But cases like this, okay, they happen. Okay, the surfer got kidnapped or nicked. So something I forgot what it was. There's something that happened in Chiapas, in the tropical region, I think 2 summers ago. So, but these happen. But in general, are the cartels really going after tourists or whoever it may be? Are they really wanting to get involved with foreigners and tourists?
Yeah, they want to sell them drugs.
Or they want to sell them, but right. So they want to get involved in that way, yeah. But they don't. They're not this kidnapping or just randomly slitting throats and things like this. What is this?
There are groups that do that. There are groups that do that, but they are not widespread. It hasn't reached like my circle of people like I know in the 14 years I've been here. Like in an outside way, yes, I've heard of stories.
Yes.
No, but in any country you hear that kind of stories and that kind of. And it's not like it's a bit very dangerous for a civilian to be here a tourist. There is this saying, el que la debe la paga. The one who owes it pays it. So,
I see.
So that's like this. I think that's most of the organizations follow that.
And so what you're saying there is that these people, it wasn't random. Something was happening.
No. Okay, the family. Yes, I don't know about the surfer.
No, not the family.
Not the kids. Please.
Right. No. But like the surfer. The surfer and these people who you're saying
not
something
necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
These are cases that happen, right? Like that's why the kidnap and murder and these things exist as a concept, because they happen everywhere. Yeah. But it's not a thing that is widespread or a danger that is at least in the zone I live in and with the information I get, it's not something that is.
I'm just trying to make sense of what you.
Another social groups, like for example immigrants. There are the percentages of immigrants that are awful. The rape rates in immigrant women that go through Mexico, awful, completely awful. And so if you are exposed or if you do get in a zone where you shouldn't be, well, that's where shit can go wrong, right? And it can also happen, but it can happen anywhere.
But you're saying so when you say if there's a price, someone's going to pay. What was that phrase you just said?
Yeah, if you owe it, you pay it.
If you owe it, you pay it. So what you're saying is that's typically how it goes, and when surfers etc. get their throats slit, that's
No, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe, but maybe not. No, most probably not.
So I have a question: would you say that there's kind of a mentality of like a live and let live hopefulness right now, moving towards the future of this? That the government and the cartels are hoping that they can coexist as one, and then they do their thing, we do ours. And, everyone kind of goes about their day and there's less violence and less chaos in the streets, right?
Yeah, that's like the tacit thing that people have affected.
So if that's the mentality moving forward, is there a fear? Because I truly do believe that for a time in the early startings of the cartels in South America, there was a similar hope. There was just like, well, you know what? The economy is kind of booming down here. Things are going well. People have a job. People have a purpose. But then when you give those groups so much power, so you have this instance with Chapo's son, right? And you kind of understand why their reaction was their reaction. That is one of their leaders. So they fought for him, right? And then it's a justice for them, and it's not a total misunderstanding of a situation. But what happens next time when they want something that's unreasonable and they said, hey, fuck them, we can take it, they're going to give us anything we want because now we have this immense power, and they start abusing that again. Like that's my biggest fear. I would love to say let's just live and let live, but the problem is when one of those groups gets that power, because some of those organizations have very smart and logical people behind them. Right? Not all criminals are idiots, but the problem is criminals need to be strong. And generally you have another crazy bastard who's going to want that power over the smart guy who's getting everything in order. And then the new guy takes over and it's fucking chaos again. And I feel like
so
everyone's got to realize.
What are you asking, Angel?
Well, right now, because their idea is just like, hey, we're gonna be able to coexist. But eventually, it's just going to go back to the same shit that it is again. It's just you're not taking care of a problem. You're basically calling a truce for the time being.
I mean, yeah, you say they don't control. I'm along with you here, Angel. You say they don't control Mexico, but then Chapo's son, they want Chapo's son back. Boom, they rally up and bam, they get what they want. So I guess
what happens when they want a piece of the fucking country?
How is it that they're not controlling Mexico?
That's the thing. What's the value for the government of the capture of Chapo's son, right? Mm-hmm. It had no value. It had no value. It wouldn't change anything in the organization. Somebody would have taken over, and there would have been an incredible toll, and an incredible friction between this new order, and the government.
So if there was a higher value target like Chapo, let's say, they would fight. Mexico would fight until. No,
there is no target that is a single person.
Okay.
The target is the target right now are the social imbalances that make people be inclined to be in the stealing of gasoline, in the narcos, and in many illegal activities, and bring them and show them that the state is there for them, and that the state is going to gain more and more power because the state was being dismantled, and the forces of order were all entangled with the narcos. Now, if you put them aside and you get to an agreement that's going to bring peace and it's going to bring the stability necessary to develop the infrastructure and the strategic resources of the country and to bring a reasonable distribution of the income, then things are going to get better. Things are hopefully.
But wouldn't you say that these corruptions and this type of stuff that's happening with cartels and with all this inability for the government to control its cities and its towns, and this is all just coming to me. I'm not trying to grind some axe, but wouldn't you say that is exactly what's stopping this development and this ability to come into some kind of economic stability? Is saying this target isn't important enough for us to say, hey, listen, you're coming with us, man. Like, it's the law. That's it. The law is here. The law stands. But since that's not happening, how can people even begin to really have some kind of comfort or stability in the situation?
Well, in knowing that the state is not going to be as foolish as to go. That was apparently a misorder in the rank of command that went for the capture of Chapo's son without the authorization of the higher ranks. So it was a miscall.
But for someone to say, listen, we're Mexico, we want to get this guy, we're going to go get him. That's that. End of story. But no, we can't because we have to say.
What's the cost?
Right.
What's the cost?
But that
human lives.
Exactly. I agree 100%. And you're saying that the solution is that people learn that the government or essentially the economic situation is more stable. They can rely on making some kind of life for themselves, probably at a young age, so they're not romanticized into the cartel lifestyle. And,
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is, don't you think the fact that saying what is the cost of not being able to go in there and pluck them, even though it might kill a bunch of people, doing that might really set a precedent that says, hey, we're not going to put up with it. People are going to die, but it's for the greater good in the future. I'm not saying that's what I think, but
it hasn't in the past. It hasn't in the past, because for 12 years the war on drugs went for some big capos and took down big capos, right? And with a death toll that's unimaginable. And but what happened? Nothing. Somebody took their place. It all keeps on going. Anyways, they get their money, they get their guns, and it goes fast and furious.
I see.
I think it's like a little bit of this whole the devil type of situation going on, where it's just, I think the government, and listen, this is, I have to apologize because I know sometimes this sounds shitty coming from an American talking about Mexican politics. It's hard because I'm not there. So I definitely apologize with that. I just, my hope is that everything works out. But again, making the correlation with what happened in Colombia, you have another beautiful country, filled with amazing things that was just poisoned by this horrible violence that took place during that time. And when they severed the ties with the heaviest of cartels, and there's still some crime in Colombia, but when they severed those ties, the country had a lot of economic issues. But if you look at places like Medellin now and Colombia in general, it has recovered from a lot of that stuff. Now, I don't know how ingrained it still is there, but it's definitely as less prevalent than it was in the 90s.
But it's still the top producer of cocaine, and so the things are still going. And I'm not saying it's wrong, and that it's still, the government still has high ties with narcos there, and with paramilitary groups, and they kill social activists like they're flies.
Do you think their government made a similar deal with the cartels?
But in a different way, from a different standing point.
Do you think it was better for the guy? Basically, I'm just wondering, because I definitely don't know what's the best decision to make for that situation in Mexico. Like, I don't. But I'm just so scared of a government dealing with like an organization like that. Like, I just feel that they're eventually going to keep pushing, and sometimes it's better for the government to be in control of certain things.
Yeah, and the government actually started doing something to take charge of security in widespread areas of the country. They created a national guard. Before, the president only had like 20,000 elements of the Policía Federal, of the federal police, which doesn't exist anymore, to like directly react on the matter. Now they identified like 300 hotspots, and they developed the National Guard with more, like they hoping to have I think at least 100,000 people in there, and some 100,000 elements in the hotspots with the strategic ability to respond to any provocation and to anything like that. The thing is that the army could have come into the city in Culiacan, right? It could have come in, it could have taken over the city back. At what cost? That is the thing.
So many innocent people in the crossfire of that.
Yeah.
And those, I don't know about the new cartels, but I remember like the Zetas, that was a big thing, and they were like a paramilitary group. And do the cartels still have that? Like a lot of ex-army and a lot of ex-military and current military?
Yeah, probably they do. In Michoacan, it was a very interesting thing that happened, that the very people rose up. Like they formed the auto defenses, and they cleaned up whole municipalities. Like they did like the job. They took the job in their own hands, and they, like, there is this city or this municipality called Cheran, where they expelled the government actually. And they formed their community government there. Yeah.
So so basically, so I think just kind of wrapping up these kind of politics of the cartels, at least from the government standpoint, from the macro standpoint, Mexico is not trying to stop the cartel. They've kind of said, okay, we're not going to do that, but I know we kind of said, but I just kind of like solidifying this in my head. They're not trying to stop actively like say, okay, we need to rid the country of the cartel. Now they're thinking from the backdoor approach, from the roots. We're going to create more opportunities for people so there's less incentive to join the cartel. That's basically the strategy as it is.
Yeah, that and the ability the ability of contention in the case that things get out of control. Now the government has more ability, a higher ability to contain because of this National Guard. It has a lot of elements, a lot more elements that work in coordination with the army and with the police, and that they are in the direct command of the highest officials. So so that's an advancement, because actually it was a charade. It was all a charade, a very bloody charade, because the business wasn't going to stop.
It was just a facade. It was just for show.
Mm-hmm. It was for show and for establishing who is going to control the roots and who is going to control the business, right? But it wasn't for ending drugs and drug dealers and drug business, like right, like. And I think that they have the situation here and also in the United States. And I think like very high institutions in the United States have a lot to do that the roots are maintained and where they come from and where they go.
Man, there's always been a... Sorry, go ahead.
I think we could get into... There's so much we can get into, and I think, honestly, we're going to have you back on for sure. I think I wanted to just talk about actually just the typical ideas with Mexicans and what they think of America and that kind of thing. But I think this is the cartel show. So let's stay on the cartels for now. Angel, go ahead and say what you were going to say.
No, I was going to say, it's been a widely acknowledged thing that some government agencies have worked with cartels and even with organized crime inside the United States in ways to fund government programs. Like there's so much money that gets made through the drug trade that you don't see. And I'm not going to jump way into conspiracy theories, but there's been a lot of evidence that really shows that some of these government organizations that have been very friendly with the cartels because they're just like, listen, the drugs are going to come in regardless.
Angel, tell me something, Angel. Do you think, I mean, your theme tonight absolutely 100% has been the cartel melding themselves into the lives of everyone in the community and things like that. That has really been your theme. What do you think about that? Like, do you think that's like kind of a good thing? Do you think it's like something that should be? Do you ever think about maybe living that lifestyle, something like that? Do you think it's just part of human nature? What do you think's going on there, buddy?
I've tried. My issue with that is look. The short answer is yes. I've written that.
Yes, what?
Yes, I think for me, in a perfect world, you could merge the two. The two could coexist. But here's the problem. I've tried to toe that line before when I was doing less legal things
in your own cartel business. Yes, go on here.
in my own brush with that community, and the problem is that community just breeds distrust. I was willing to die on the sword for a lot of people, but the second someone distrusted me for a heartbeat, there was no loyalty. Like all of that was this bullshit romanticized idea that I had about this lifestyle, and these people. And I was like, no, these are my brothers. We've made this commitment. We've made this bond together.
We're going on this adventure together here.
Yeah, we're gonna live and die for each other. If it means I got to serve the rest of my life in this prison cell, I'm going to do it because this man puts his life on the line for me. But then you realize that those people in a second would just sell you up the river for even the slightest fucking gain. And that's what breaks your heart. And that's the sad truth. That's why you can't coexist. But the sad thing is governments are also, they're just a better organized crime. I hate to say it. That's all the government really is.
You're answering your own question. You're answering your own question there, Angel.
I know. Oh. I teeter back and forth.
Let's talk about that coexisting. I actually am very curious about that. Like in your guys' life in Mexico at the nightclubs and these kind of things, where do you actually run into the cartel? How do you actually run into them in your daily lives, or like kind of just a typical party person? Like, where is the cartel? Where is the touch point?
No physical place. Like you call and you get what you call for. And it's not like you get in touch like with the cartel and people with gangs or anything. No, it's just the guy who sells drugs.
And the guy who sells drugs is part of the cartel, or how does that work?
Yeah, but you don't know which cartel, or what the fuck. You don't know anything about that. No, it's just like that comes and you buy your stuff and that's it.
Can you get in trouble for? So let's say I'm at a nightclub and would there ever be two guys at a nightclub selling drugs at the same nightclub?
I don't really go to nightclubs.
I don't either. But I'm just
But in the matter of what the drugs that are not widespread sold by the cartels, normal people do that. Like normal people sell you LSD, and normal people can sell you MDMA and stuff like that, right?
What are the drugs? What are the big drugs that the cartels are selling? What are they really focused on? Cocaine.
They're cocaine, marijuana, piedra, which is like a residue of cocaine, chuki, which is methamphetamine, and those are the big four.
What's this? Go ahead, Range. Go ahead.
I was going to ask, has anything changed with the current trend of legalization of marijuana in the United States?
In Mexico? In the United States.
I'm wondering if that's affected anything with the sales down there, or just the idea of it.
They're actually planning on legalizing marijuana here too.
Yeah.
And the best thing about it is they're trying to legalize cultivation.
Cool.
That's the best. Yeah, that's the best. Like in Uruguay, they did. Thank God. Yeah.
Mezcal and marijuana, awesome. Baby.
Yeah. Woo! It's the love.
I had mezcal last night. I fucking love it.
Oh, it's great. It's fantastic.
I got a friend that sells mezcal. He brings in from Oaxaca.
Oh, really? From Oaxaca?
Yeah, and in the bottle he puts like this picture of his drawing of his dogs, man.
Dude, hey, can you get me a bottle? I'm coming on Wednesday. Can you get me a bottle?
Great. Yeah, I can get you a bottle, definitely.
Perfect.
It's great.
Perfect.
Great.
I used to have a shot of mezcal, or tequila or mezcal every show. I'll start again. Why not?
I had it in an old fashioned last night. It was fucking amazing.
Dude, yeah, mezcal is an artisan drink. Yeah. Let me ask you this: what was that third drug you were talking about? That residue of
cocaine. It's called piedra.
Piedra.
Oh yeah. That shit's horrible for you.
Is it crack or?
It's crack, probably. Yeah, crack. Yeah.
Piedra.
It's the residue from the containers that they're using to process, right?
Okay, yeah. It says it means stone in Spanish, so it's got to be crack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like crack rock. All right. So crack it's meth, crack, cocaine, and marijuana. So they don't sell LSD, MDMA. Not really. That's not really controlled by the cartels.
No, that's not really controlled. I don't think they take it very friendly if they find out you were selling or someone selling like that shit, no? But people do it without consequences.
So go ahead, Angel.
Sorry, but
we gotta work out a system here. I want you to talk. We'll work it out. We'll work it out. Go ahead. I
was gonna ask about bordellos, like going through all the list of things.
You're always okay. Yeah. Why not? So do they control the whores?
I don't know about that. Probably they do have a lot of human trafficking
or the coyotes.
And the coyotes, like the thing is, it's such a big source of income and lots of places to put it. So there are like these other groups, no, like a tree that has a lot of branches. So yeah. a lot of money that comes from drug trafficking also brings along the human trafficking that in immigration and in the kidnapping of kids, of little kids, and then like growing them pretty much to be their slaves, right?
So they kidnap them in Mexico and then
yeah.
I see.
Yeah,
what,
or maybe
what
from
about
other
kidnapping?
places. So maybe they bring them from other places and they like, I don't know, but I don't know. I've never been into that kind of things and close to any of that things, of those things. And but I can imagine. You know? I can imagine that's how it rolls.
I think it's happening everywhere. I think everywhere.
Yeah,
you know, it's just
everywhere.
happening all over the place. Let me ask you this. So let's say you have crack, cocaine, meth, or marijuana. So anyone selling that stuff more than likely is like at the bottom level of some cartel.
Yeah.
And the cartel at some level will know who is selling, who is actually the last person to touch it once it gets to the public. They know where those people are. Is that true?
Yeah, they do.
That's
they do,
amazing.
And they have the whole organization very well established, right? And the hierarchies. And that's what I was saying. It's a charade because at the end of the day, it's a hydra. And it doesn't matter how many heads you chop, right? More popping. Yep.
Now, let me ask you that about initiation, people coming in. My understanding and my kind of take on it, especially from like Breaking Bad, the show Breaking Bad, and just kind of, rumors in LA, living in LA and everything, is that just the intensity and the kind of craziness of your, I guess, cartel psychopath is just so far and away bigger and bolder and more crazy than kind of, I don't know, maybe even mafia, maybe even the Italians, maybe even, the Yakuza, I don't know. Getting some, is this really something that people in Mexico are aware of, kind of the insanity and craziness and psychopathy of cartel members? Is that a thing, or is it kind of more like urban legends kind of stuff?
No, the sicarios are definitely psychopaths more. Yeah. They have to be, right? They have to be, but this happens everywhere where there's violence and where there's killing and where there's blood. People like lose their shit.
I know that's
understandable.
I know that people, and I agree, but I totally agree. I know that people say that I've heard stories where they're bringing people in early, like kids, I guess, and they give them a dog or a puppy or some kind of cat or something. And they take care of it, and then later you have to kill that animal to show.
You know what? You know where I heard that? And that was part of, like, they did that with Uruguayan soldiers in the time of the dictatorship. As part of like the Plan Condor and all this organization by them. No, they gave them their puppy, 6 months. You have to kill it. It's an order.
And it's like a kind of self-induced psychopathy. Like, is there any other stories like this about initiation that you guys kind of know about or rumored and all this, or know for sure?
Well, I read a story of these guys that they were told, like 25 guys from a poor area. No, they were told like, okay, meet here. We're going to give you a job offer. No, like la la.
We're going to give you a what? I'm sorry, give you.
A job offer. Yeah, random kids like from poor areas, random young men, and they put them like in this. When they get in the meeting point, all of them, like there are a lot of people, and they like get on the bus, right? And they put them on a bus. They blinded them, and they like blindfolded them, and then took them to this mountain. And in the mountain, they had to like do whatever. Like they bring dead bodies, and they had like to chop them and then one kid like didn't follow an order, and the man killed him like on the spot, and the other guys have to chop them, and like all this crazy shit, like they were forced to do, and that causes like a dissonance, a cognitive dissonance that breaks the soul. Right?
So they're essentially just desensitizing everybody as quickly as they can to really pull off. I mean, it's like desensitization.
Yeah, but that happened in that story. Like in most cases, I don't think there is an initialization that involves violence. Like most people that pay the price in the end, and the people that the sicarios and these desensitized people chase and kill, are just normal people. Like I don't know. I had a friend actually. I had two friends that were killed in the and more known people. Like
Really?
one of them closer than the other, and the guy was stupid enough to get into the business once the storm was like, you could see the storm coming, and the guy got into it, and he lasted like 6 months, and then they went to his house, tortured him, killed him, and that's it.
And why did they do this?
Because they were doing it all over the city. Because I don't know, he was working for another cartel, so maybe
wow.
they went for him, tortured him, got the info they wanted. Like,
This is why they could never coexist. Those two things that we talked about. Because these organizations, that's the kind of person that they're breeding. And in that there's no room for loyalty or commitment. The scariest guy is the guy that ends up on the top.
It's power. It's just power. I mean, it's just.
That's it.
I mean,
Power.
Power. You know.
Power and fear. You know.
Sure.
yeah, power and fear.
So, Christ, what was I going to say? And so you've got these. Okay, so this guy's working with this guy, and he got tortured and everything. And it's power. Thank you. Fuck. What the fuck was I going to say? Damn it. Oh man. Okay.
Another story was more incredible. Like this other person from the neighborhood, the motherfucker, like they shoot him with the AK, and like he survived, right? With a bullet like scratched his neck and stuff. He survives. All right, and he continues. He doesn't leave. He doesn't fucking leave. They get him on a van.
Mm-hmm.
They put a fucking bullet in his head.
Mm-hmm.
What happens? The motherfucker survives again with a bullet in his head.
Way.
He fucking survived. He showed me I found him, and he showed me the fucking scar on his head, man. And he was like talking with this tracheotomy. Is that the word in English? He was like Darth Vader, man. And then the third time was it, right? So,
And then he got shot a third time and died.
yeah.
Unbelievable. I remember what I was going to talk about. Narco corridos. So what's going on? So those are just literally songs that are saying, I took this many drugs across here, and then I fucked this girl, and then I shot this. Like, is it just like straight up? They just fucking fucked this.
Yeah,
like raping and things like this as well.
No, I don't think raping. Think raping. There must be like other underground shit that must be very heavy, right?
Yeah, right.
But the one that gets mainstream, it's like this story about like these cowboys, pretty much, no? Like the story about me and my family and my friend, and we go here and we take over, no? And there were many shooting, many bullets that we made it. No, first this guy fell, and then the other. But I don't know. Or maybe the story of how they die, or how he dies. No, the man singing the story of how he dies. No,
and is this mostly coming from North Mexico? Is this kind of a North Mexican thing?
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely. It's more.
Okay, so then you have basically these record labels that are producing this stuff, and you have like big crowds going to see these bands. Yes,
huge crowds.
I mean, I guess I can't say much about it because gangster rap and everything like that. I mean, we all loved it. I mean, we loved it, but this kind of cowboy thing, like I remember I was in La Paz, and they were having some fiesta out on the Malecon. And there was this dude in a cowboy hat and a very nicely pressed shirt, and and just the little tassels coming down, And I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was about this guy. And he had his girl, and he was just kind of like,
He's being shocked and stuff.
What? Yeah, And I didn't know what it was, but I'm just like, this guy's in the cartel, and I don't want to fuck with him. Like, he was just kind of looking at everyone funny and stuff like this. Am I being paranoid? Is that what's going on there, or are these the cartel guys?
I don't know. I don't think you want to find out.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean. And I remember speeding a couple. Like sometimes you're driving to La Paz or back from La Paz to Cabo. It's about 2 hours away. And there's people who just come up behind you and just fucking like, cut in front of you, and in like nice cars. And I want to say, hey, fuck you, or something, right? And so with the Mexican people I'm with, they're always like, don't do that. It's gonna be.
That brings up a good question. Is there good advice to spot these guys if you're a tourist going into the city where you're just like, I'm not going to talk shit to that guy?
Yeah, probably if they are dressed up like that, like Jordan described.
Cowboy hat.
Yeah, but that's a very Mexican way of dressing, mainly for northern Mexican people, right? That's
exactly it. It's also very common. Yeah.
So it's not a certainty that the person is like in any travel or in any business, right? But you don't want to find out, right?
Right.
No one does.
So they do dress like it is like a country thing, the hats and the nice boots and everything like this, and that's kind of. I mean, I'm not saying that all of them are like, but like many dress this way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's mostly in northern Mexico, people that come from the rancho, right?
From the rancho, yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Let's see. Should we be afraid of the cartel if I go to Mexico? Should tourists be afraid of the cartel if we go to Mexico?
No, they don't shit where they eat.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty much.
And could someone go and buy drugs safely in Mexico if they wanted to?
I couldn't tell you. I've never been a tourist coming here and like getting the access to it or how it rolls in the hotels and stuff. I don't know.
Are they tied in with the police, the local police, and in on things? Is it? Are they?
Most probably they are, and more so like as I told you in the last administration, like here in Cabo, there was a PAN administration. That was horrible. The thing was that there was impunity, total. For whatever they did, they didn't get one person. And there were like a thousand murdered in all Baja, no? In all Baja Sur. And so that obviously was an involvement between the two and an agreement, and a very stupid agreement, because if you ask me, okay, you're gonna do that shit, it's gonna roll, okay, don't do it in the fucking streets, don't do it in the fucking, it's horrible, no?
Right.
Don't do it. But,
yeah, that's a cops telling, they're like, listen, okay, the money's great, but you can't be shooting people in the street,
Yeah, but I mean, it should make sense to them too if they want to like
totally.
To take over a plaza, to take over a place, like, and if it's a touristic place, what the fuck are you doing, shooting people like out in the open, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that did cause collateral damage, lives, more lives even lost, and it was horrible. And I think that nowadays there has to be this tacit understanding between the government and the narcos, and this policy of live and let live, right? And but there have to be limits, no? Yeah. There has to be limits, and the limits have to be very clear. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got to tell you, this has actually been fascinating. I have half an outline still of questions we didn't even get to, like Mexican-American relations, and that's something I really do want to talk with you about, because you do obviously have a very interesting opinions on all this stuff, and it has been fascinating to hear you talk about the cartels today. I'm sure we could do a whole nother show about cartels as well.
And you guys, I also like both of your opinions very much. Like, even it's been all like this growing discussion, which has a lot of these things and topics that we can put in the air, right?
Well, yeah, what we got to do is we got to have you on and we can talk about your relations with Americans and all of that and the policies there. And then we can have another one and combine the two and talk about how America is involved in the drug war and all that stuff. I could go on and on about this stuff. It's amazing. Angel, do you have anything else for our lovely guest here?
No, I just want to say thank you again for hearing us out with our opinions. Obviously I don't live there, so but I care about what's happening to our neighbors from the South. I did live in Mexico for a small period of time, and I loved it. It was great people, great times. So my heart's there with you guys, and I hope everything works out for the best. And thank you so much for listening to us, buddy, and thank you for being here.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you guys for inviting me.
Absolutely, man. No, super. No, really, I really want you to. I think very shortly, you should come back and we should continue this. Actually, I'd say this is like part one. Hopefully, you'll do that with us. I want to say this to you right now in terms of the drugs and all this. Is there anything you'd like to say to the American people? And this is not a political show or anything like this. I'm just spreading light on things that people are confused about. That's it. That's all I do. So, is there anything that you want to say to the American people about being afraid of Mexico, afraid of the cartels and these kinds of things? And if you don't have anything, it's okay. But if there's something you'd like to say, please.
I'd say that chill out, come to Mexico and chill out. That's why millions of Americans come every year and they go back, and some of them live for 6 months here. There's the same risks that there is anywhere, no? The inevitable risk of death. It's it's gonna happen to all of us, right? And hopefully it's not on a shooting on a school or somewhere or in the streets of another country or anything, right? But the thing is that statistically for Americans it's very safe. It's safe for the vast majority. If millions of Americans come every year, like millions and millions and millions stay. That's because they can, right?
Yes.
And they enjoy it. Yeah.
And I want to tell everyone that I'm going back on Wednesday. I'll probably be there for at least another month. I was there for 4 months before. I've lived there for months and months and months and months, driven up and down all over the place. It's not just the all-inclusive hotels. It's not just the resorts. It's not just the spas. I've lived everywhere in small towns, bigger towns, shitty places, expensive places, like the whole. Well, not expensive
and you can travel,
places.
and you can actually travel around Mexico now with precautions.
Absolutely.
Don't like flash out of your blinks and stuff, right? But you can travel to these beautiful places. All of Mexico is beautiful, from south to north, from north to south, from east to west. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, really. And especially in Baja, some of the cleanest beaches in the world. Literally, they're worried about all this. Anyway, I think I could, like I say, we're going to have you on again, and I want to talk about all that other shit, just all that the other cliched ideas about Mexico, and I'm really excited to do that. Fabrizio, I want to thank you so much. Would you like to let everyone know how they can get in touch with you if that's something you'd like? Twitter, email, something like this, something you got going in your life right now?
We're teaching Spanish here at Spanish in Cabo, and I teach English also, and some places, and I teach yoga. I am a yoga instructor.
Awesome.
And then play soccer like in my free time. Yeah.
And I enjoy walks on the beaches. How can people get in touch with you, Fabrizio?
Okay, so my Facebook is Fabrizio with a C. It's Fabricio. Then
with a C or a Z?
A Z.
Okay, so ZIO. ZIO, folks. Okay, it's just your quality audio. It's bad through Skype.
All right, and Zeta in Spanish. Luca is Luca. Satorno Satorno. Algorta RTA.
Okay, well, there's your four names there. There it is. Okay, so we're going to put that link in the description for you folks. Anywhere else they can get a hold of you, Twitter, anything like that?
No, I don't have Twitter. But
Okay,
yeah,
great.
through there and through the school. If you want to learn Spanish with Fabrizio.
What's the name of the school? What's the name of the school?
Spanish in Cabo. I don't want to move the computer again, but I have to.
You can do it. No, you can do it. I think you can move it. Yeah, go ahead.
So
there you go. SpanishinCabo.com. Spanish in
perfect.
Cabo.
We also have online classes. So if you want to learn like from home, also Spanish in Cabo.
Awesome. And guys, come to Cabo. We're in San Jose. It is the more chilled out, sane part of Cabo. Very, very cool place to spend some time and to be quiet. And if you want party's there too, of course. You can come see Fabrizio at his school if you want to be a real traveler and learn the language yourself. Fabrizio, one more time, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. And I hope to God we have you on again very soon to continue this conversation.
Yeah, Jordan, sure. An angel, thank you.
Awesome.
Mucho gusto.
Awesome. All right, folks, and for me, that does it. We're back for the new year, 2020. Everyone enjoy your 2020. The roaring 20s. We can finally call this year something sane, like the 20s, instead of the 10s or the thousands. I don't know. The 20s, finally, we're back. We had the 90s, and now we're into the 20s. Beautiful. So everybody, thank you so much for joining. If you want to check out the podcast, you can do it on iTunes or Google Podcasts. It is Bravely Mistaken. If you want to catch the video version, you're listening to podcasts right now and you want a video version, you can see it on iTunes at Jordan's Moves, Jordan's Moves, one word. If you separate it, you'll get Michael Jordan doing slam dunks. I regret the name every time I say it. If you want to find me everywhere else, it's at Jordan's Moves, so you can do that. So we're back. We're coming at you, and we will see you next week, every Thursday, as planned, until otherwise informed. Never be afraid to make a brave mistake. And don't you ever forget that I like your moves. Yes, I get it. I sound like such a dick when I type. Yes, I get it.
I understand.
I can't believe my mom walked in, dude.
That was so good. I knew it. I had a feeling it was going to happen. I was like,
I want everyone to know I love my mother. It was just the last thing I was expecting. And I saw it. If you say, I saw my door and someone in it. And I was like, oh, someone's in that room, you know? I swear to God. And I was like, no way. My poor mom. Seriously. I was just like, so shocked. I should have been a little nicer, I know, but I was just like, Mom, oh my God, dude.
Leave that.
That was crazy.
That's
Oh my God. It's so embarrassing, but fuck it, whatever. It's fine. It's like, Mom, obviously I'm recording, but come on. What am I going to do? Okay.